Well, good morning. How are you doing today, Andrea?
I'm great. How are you, Doc?
Oh, I'm doing good. It's National Crayon Day.
So what's your favorite color?
You know, I don't know. I've never thought about it. Let me give it a good thought. You know, it depends on what I'm coloring.
Well, of course. What do you think my favorite color is?
Purple,
No.
black,
I wear a lot of black, but that's not my favorite color.
green.
Green, yes.
Oh, really? So I got it in 3 picks. That's pretty good, isn't it?
You're so smart.
I was going to say yellow.
No, that's not one of my favorite colors.
You know that yellow is the most popular color for geniuses?
Oh, I must be my favorite color.
Right? Yellow is the most favorite color picked by geniuses. So pretty cool, but I like yellow. I like yellow.
I would say your favorite color would be blue.
Yeah, I like blue too. I think, a lot of people think I like blue, but I don't know. I look around my house. I really don't have anything that's blue. I don't have a
No.
blue car. I don't have a single blue car.
Well, you look good in blue, though.
Yeah, but I don't have blue cars. I don't have blue guns. I don't have blue anything.
I have a pink gun.
You have a pink gun? Yeah, my friend Mike, he had on Facebook yesterday, he showed a picture of his wife pink gun. But, hey, I want to talk about immunity, right? We've heard a lot of things right now. Everybody's concerned with immunity because they say that with this new infection, this virus, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it, they're saying that only thing that stands between it and us is our immune system.
Yeah.
We started talking about in immune systems a long time ago, didn't we, on this call?
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot over the last year.
Yeah, we've talked about fulvic acid a lot, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, and we've talked about, how important the digestive system is and all of that. I just wrote down some notes of things that I wanted to kind of make sure and cover today. But, like I posted on Facebook, kind of the announcement of get on this call. Here's what we're going to be talking about. I talked about how Elvis and John Wayne both had, how many pounds of impacted fecal material in their gut when they died.
One had 50, one had 70.
Yeah, and I can remember which one was which, right?
I think John Wayne had the most.
He was bigger,
I don't
taller.
know. He was taller.
Right? But, just think about that. Did that have an impact on them dying?
Well, I would say it definitely had an impact on their health.
It sure did, yeah. And they were both on a lot of medications and all that. So anyhow, the gut is so important. And I remember, when I first learned about how the gut was so involved with your immune system, I remember an example that was taught to me, and it forever imprinted on my brain, right?
Okay.
Have you ever gone walking and you're alongside the bike path or the walking trail that you're on, you see a dead animal laying there, and then a couple days later you walk by and it's all just kind of, eaten up by the elements?
Yes.
Kind of gross, gross to talk about. But, so inside that animal, all of a sudden, all these bad funguses and bacteria and microbes start to take over, and they eat up the body of that. Yeah. Pretty soon, I don't know. There's nothing left of what was once an animal.
Right.
So when you have poor digestive health and you eat something, whatever it may be, a steak, or maybe you're a vegan and you eat, your tofu burger or whatever you want to eat, what happens to that food that sits in your gut and huh?
It putrefies.
Yeah, just like that bird or that possum or that that raccoon that's laying along the bike trail or the walking trail.
Mm-hmm.
Inside your body, the same thing is happening.
Gross.
Kind of gross, isn't it?
Yes.
But here's something that most people don't think about, and maybe I don't know, maybe I'm gross thinking about it, but so as those little microorganisms are growing inside of you, they're eating the food that you ate because your body's not digesting it because you have poor digestive health. And so because these creatures are also living, guess what they're doing inside of you?
Pooping.
Uh-huh. Yeah. What do you think of that?
It's pretty gross.
Yeah. So check this out. This is even more gross than that, right? You start thinking about little creatures inside of you living, pooping inside of you, digesting the food that you ate so that you could stay healthy. Now these little creatures are eating your food and they're giving you their poop. And guess what your body's using it for?
I don't know what.
Building you out of it.
Yuck.
Yeah. Yeah, yuck. And so I remember, and this was like 20, 25 years ago when I remember having this visual put into my head. And I mean, I still remember sitting in that room going, holy crap.
Right?
That's gross, right? 6 neurotoxins that they knew about back then were given off by the bacteria and the viruses as they were growing inside of the food that you ate, and they were pooping. They were giving off 6 neurotoxins that your body starts to use now to make you out of.
That's gross.
Yeah.
So basically, let me see if I have this pictured right. Like you have food going in there, but it's not processing right. So you're not sucking the nutrients out of it and eliminating the waste. It's building up on the walls of your intestines. And so then the bacteria are living in that sludge that's building up in your body. And then you're actually using their poop to build yourself. That's very gross. So how do we get rid of the sludge?
Yeah, right? I mean, isn't that something that everybody should be thinking right now? Holy cow, how do you get rid of the sludge?
Right.
And as you get rid of the sludge, you're going to build your immunity and you're going to help fight off this big bad bacteria virus that's hitting us right now. Hey, Randy, welcome to the call. But yeah, isn't that something?
Right.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So what's the first thing that you want to do is you want to kind of start the movement again, right? You want to get all that system working. So what I try and tell people is that you have to imagine that inside your body right now, inside your body here, like this here, I'm going to draw it out again. Can you see my paper here?
You got your marker?
Yeah, here, I'll use a marker so you can see it.
Your
right?
camera's tilted up a little bit, so you're gonna have to hold it up by your ear. There you go.
Okay, so bear with me. I'm just gonna draw this out. So here you are, kind of lopsided, but there you are, right? That's the human body.
Okay. Okay.
And let me find another color marker. It's kind of fun. It's like art class.
Yes.
So inside your body, you have a hole up here.
Yes.
And you have a hole down here somewhere.
Uh-huh.
And then you have a pipe.
Right.
That winds around through there.
Mm-hmm.
So inside this pipe, The outside environment is on the inside of your body.
Yeah, you talked about that before. Our
Does that,
inside is the outside.
can you see the outside is on the inside?
Yep.
So why is it important to have good digestive health?
To clean it out.
Yeah, because you want to protect yourself from the outside environment that's on the inside of your body, because between you and this stuff that's inside of here, there's one cell layer thick.
Wow.
It's only, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
So what happens is that we eat all this food that is not nutritious, it's not healthy for you, it's loaded with preservatives, it's over processed. You know, you pasteurize it, and what you do is you kill the natural enzymes in the food. You add all these chemicals, you kill the natural enzymes in the food, and the enzymes are there on purpose, right? When you
Right.
go buy fresh raw milk,
Mm-hmm.
there's a reason that milk starts to spoil over a couple days, because over a couple days the natural enzymes start to break it down, so that when
Right.
you drink it, it's already partially digested.
Right.
So your body doesn't have to do all the work to digest it.
That's right.
So when you eat these foods that are processed or pasteurized and all these different things, you've killed off the natural enzymes. So your body's not going to digest those foods.
Okay.
Right? And so where do we get these enzymes? Well, your body makes its own enzymes, right?
Yes.
And then on top of it, you get acquired enzymes and things as well. So you got the innate system, which is what your body makes, and then you have the acquired, which comes from the other things from the outside.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
I'm just trying to go through my notes at the same time that I'm talking. So when we kill off all this natural stuff, the innate, and we kill off the acquired stuff, all of a sudden your system can't keep up, and it can't digest it, and all of a sudden this good, healthy, delicate system starts to fall apart.
And you get a backlog.
You get a backlog. And so all of that stuff that's sitting in there, your body, it doesn't have the motility. It doesn't move it out from one end of the pipe to the other end of the pipe. And so it just sits in there, and it just rots and decays. Imagine seeing that dead bird or that dead possum laying along the bike trail a month later. It's
Mm-hmm.
bloated. It smells.
So is this true? I've heard before that, people who have halitosis actually may have enough putrefied meat and stuff in their guts that the odor is actually coming out of their mouth.
Some of that, and then they might have poor teeth too that are giving off a lot of bacteria that smell.
Okay.
Their teeth are rotting the exact same way. Yeah, yuck.
Not mine.
Right on. Yeah. So, you asked, what do we do about it? Well, Sisel has a product. It's called Super Detox.
Mm-hmm.
And Super Detox is formulated with a lot of really good nutrition that breaks up that mucoid plaquing that builds up in your gut, the stuff that John Wayne and Elvis had 50 pounds of in their gut. It basically, think of it like an oven cleaner.
Okay. That's a good analogy. Yeah.
Right? It's an oven cleaner for your gut. Super Detox.
Super Detox.
Do I have to get into any more science than that? I mean, doesn't that just...
No, not really. I think people might want to know how you use that, because don't you take more in the beginning and then it goes down?
Yeah, so with that product, the way that Tom described it, we had him on one of our calls, not that long ago, and he said that, you start out, you take a little bit of it, and you gradually build up,
Oh, you build
and
up.
you clean
Okay.
the gut out. Yeah, because some people have, I don't have a reaction to it. I don't know if it's because I have a pretty healthy gut, but some people have a horrible reaction where they have to run to the bathroom pretty quickly. They have to evacuate
Oh,
their
really?
system. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had that.
Yeah, I haven't had it either, but I've heard, and Tom has said on some of his calls that you want to use that on days when you're already at home. So now would be a perfect time for people to find out about Super
Right?
Detox.
Buy your Super Detox today.
Buy it today, use it this week. When you go back to work, you probably don't want to use it.
Right?
I know. So anyhow, that's what Super Detox does. Is it's the oven cleaner. It cleans things out. So now once you got your oven all cleaned out, you got your gut all cleaned out. Now you want to rebuild it, and you want to rebuild it with healthy bacteria. You want to get it so that you build that microbiome. And what a microbiome is think of it like a mini environment,
Like a
biological.
terrarium?
Yeah, and yeah, like what do you call it? A terrarium.
Terrarium. It has its own moisture that drips down and, rewaters the
And
plants.
lizards in it.
Yeah, it's all contained.
Yeah, I just remember terrariums. You'd put a lizard in there.
No, I'm not talking about like the round ones that you put plants in and they create their own environment.
Oh, okay. No lizards.
No lizards. That would be plaque.
That would be the bad bacteria, right?
Right?
Salamanders and lizards living in there. But
Mm-hmm.
okay, so we got people so that they can see this thing, this microbiome, this terrarium growing inside their body, good, healthy bacteria. And all of a sudden, because you're eating all this processed food and garbage, Coca-Cola and 7-Up and Mountain Dew and this junk and that junk, and all of a sudden, you get all that plaquing. You get, and think of like your gut as looking like this, So it's
Higher. Yeah. Okay.
it's this, it's got these villi in it, these little fingers that grow inside
Mm-hmm.
the gut, and so in between those little fingers, that's where that mucoid plaque kind of sticks,
Mm-hmm.
and it accumulates in there.
Can we talk about this? Like, is that a partial reasoning for diverticulitis? Yes.
Yeah, because in diverticulitis, in that case, you're actually getting little food particles that are not broken down that get lodged in there too, and then that grows into an infection.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the other thing that affects the gut biome that we've discussed is antibiotics.
Yeah, antibiotics, and it's not just antibiotics that you take orally, and that it's antibiotics that's already in your food.
Yeah, like in your beef and
stuff
like that.
If you buy meat from most farmers, most ranchers, it's got antibiotics in it. And I remember getting in an argument with a good friend of mine about it one time. But they inject it in the animals because they don't have to feed their animal properly, and it allows the animal to stay healthy without developing colic.
Yeah, okay.
Right, because when animals get colic, it can kill them, and so they take and they give them antibiotics to prevent that, and it keeps the animal from getting the colic, but you don't want those antibiotics in you.
Right.
So that also, like you said, it adds to it because it's killing off all that good healthy bacteria. And like Tom said, if you took and had antibiotics when you were a child and you never repaired your system, and here you are, 60 years later,
right,
and you haven't repaired the system, what's that done?
It's destroyed it. So basically, in your little terrarium in there, you've got all these really good bacteria that work to break down the food, right? And you have some bad bacteria.
A balance.
A balance of that. Is that how that works?
Yep.
So if you're introducing antibiotics into the system, it's killing off a lot of the good bacteria. So you have overgrowth of the bad bacteria.
Yeah, because the good bacteria take longer to come back. And so the bad bacteria, the bad funguses, all those microorganisms, they can grow quickly in a bad environment.
Okay.
Right. And so think of it like, you know, like somebody moving into your neighborhood and they bring all their bad partying friends there and you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So they bring all their partying friends and at 2 o'clock in the morning, you can't sleep because they're making trouble. Police are showing up. Right.
Yep.
So in your system, in your gut, that havoc, that chaos, that's inflammation.
Right. And that is so detrimental to your whole system, inflammation.
Inflammation. Inflammation is the response that your body has.
Right.
But your video went out. But so since we've been hearing about this coronavirus, this COVID-19, whatever we want to say about it, right? I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's almost like thinking it's like an airborne form of AIDS or something like that. It's floating around and oh my God, I'm going to get at. That's almost like how people are treating.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been reading lots of information on viruses and what they are.
We're unstable internet connection is what it says.
Right. Yeah.
You know? But that's again because everybody's using Zoom right now. But all right. So people in the world are panicking and they're thinking that it's almost like this airborne version of this virus that is just so unknown to us. But really, in reality, it's an altered version of a virus that we've all been infected with.
Right. And there's many different kinds of coronavirus.
You had it last year.
No, I did.
Yeah, you got a cold. You got exposed to it. It might have been minor. It might have been like you didn't even notice the symptoms. You just one day you went, you coughed.
Lots of my friends actually posted the other day on social media that they thought that they all had it late fall, early winter.
We don't know for sure. You know, Nobody really knows for sure. But the truth of the matter is that it's a version of a normal virus, this coronavirus that we've been exposed to. So that's why so many people are saying, oh, look, it's on the can of Lysol. It's on this, you know, and that it kills the coronavirus.
It's kind of like that term vetting that came out about 5 years ago when we were talking about people immigrating here and whether they were vetted or not. Whoever knew the word vetting before then, right? And now we have corona and it's been here forever. Just nobody's ever called it coronavirus in everyday life before.
Yeah, and so when you look at it, you know, the coronavirus, it's been here and we've been exposed to it all of our lives and everybody has, but it's a different version of it. And this one is it's altered in a way. You know, some people are saying man-made, you know, but whatever. I mean, I'm not going to get into that. That's not what this call is about. But what happens is that it causes all this respiratory problem. But really, in reality, when we look at how a lot of the elderly people die every year, isn't it from the coronavirus?
Probably.
The answer is yes. And they get pneumonia, they pass away, right? And so it's like all of a sudden people are aware of it, and they're going to be aware of it for the rest of their lives, which is really good. Right. So what we're talking about today on the call, if we can get this information out, we can actually save lives in the future, because we'll teach people how, when they get elderly, not to get sick so they don't get that coronavirus, so they don't get pneumonia and they don't get sick, because it's the inflammation that kills you. Did you know that? Did you know that?
It's a response to inflammation, that your lungs fill up with fluid, right?
Yeah. So it's the inflammation that kills people. It's not the virus itself. And it's something called ARDS. Have you seen that word? Those I don't know, those letters, ARDS, right? Do you know what it stands for?
I watched a video the other day, and a doctor was explaining that.
Oh, okay, good, because that's what I was just explaining. So we've moved from talking about the gut and the importance of having an immune system in your gut, and how you build the immune system up. 80% of your immune system is in the gut, and because of the food that we eat, we have a poor digestive system, and we've moved into that. Okay, so now you have this bacteria virus that grows inside of you, and this mucous membrane is not just in your gut, it's in your lungs as well. You have a good, healthy mucous membrane. These microbiome, this terrarium, is inside your lungs, it's inside your throat, it's inside your nose, it's inside your sinuses, it's inside your liver, your pancreas, every organ, your bladder, right? Everything. Any organ, any area where there's a chance from the outside environment to get on the inside of your body, there's a mucus layer.
Yep.
Yeah. So ARDS, I didn't let you answer it. Do you know what it stands for?
I don't remember.
Acute respiratory distress syndrome. It used to stand for adult respiratory distress syndrome, but they changed it. It's acute now.
It's a cutie pie, huh?
It's a cutie pie. Yeah, that's right. And so what it stands for, or what it is that you get an overwhelming infection, like the virus that's going on right now. And when you get that overwhelming infection going on inside your system, what it does is that it compromises your body, and your immune system can't keep up.
And so you get inflammation.
So you start to get this inflammation, right? But it also does a couple of other things. It's like it's like your neighbors are having a big old shindig. They're having a viral party. They're celebrating the pandemic, and they're inviting all their bad friends to come over. So all of a sudden you get the biker crowd. Nothing wrong with that, but I mean just the bad guys, right? And you're getting the criminals and all these types of people. They all show up at your neighbor's house.
Okay.
Right? So that's what's happening with ARDS. It's not just the infection causing the inflammation. All of a sudden, it's like your body sends out this invitation that it says, hey, we're open. We're having a free party, like Mardi Gras. Come on down. Here's some beads. Have some fun.
Okay.
Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and that's what's happening inside your body right now. And that's what acute respiratory distress syndrome really is. And so you can see how that compounds, and it makes it worse and worse and worse, right? So these pathogens, they just continue to flourish, and they grow, and they party on. And your body responds by sending in the inflammation police. And pretty soon, you can't breathe.
Yeah, because there's a war going on inside.
There's a war going on. And did you know that if you get ARDS, you have a 40% chance of dying?
If a person gets that?
If you get ARDS, acute respiratory distress syndrome, if it's moved all the way to the ARDS stage, you have a 40% chance of dying.
If a person gets that, yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, and there's no treatment for it. Now they're saying ventilators, right? That's why you see all this news about ventilators and all that, because your lungs can't breathe because they're so filled with inflammation that you have to have an outside source breathe in the air, right? That's my ventilator.
Pumping it in and out, yeah.
Pumping it in and out because you need that fresh oxygen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can't get it because your lungs are so full of inflammation.
Right.
That you can't get fresh oxygen. So who's at risk, right? Because we're all eventually going to get exposed to this thing, is my opinion, right? I might be wrong, but I'm saying we're all going to eventually get exposed to it. There's just no way in my little mind. That's what I think, that there's no way we can survive without being exposed to it. Maybe a year from now, 2 years from now, whatever. But so who's at risk from getting this infection, getting this ARDS?
People who have low immunity.
People have low immunity. So what are the factors? COPD, increased blood pressure, high blood pressure, diabetes, and immune senescence. When I looked it up, that's what they had. They listed immune senescence. Senescence, Andrea.
That's amazing.
Isn't it cool? Isn't it cool how all of a sudden everything is just kind of intertwined together?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
And so it's just all kind of amazing, and how this stuff. I'm just looking at. There's stuff that I wanted to cover. So I know when people start hearing about this isolation, that they wanted self-quarantine, all these things. Oh, I don't want to do that. Why do we have to do that? It's just the common cold. It's the coronavirus, because that's what some people believe. Because that's the part they see. They see the corona and they go, well, I was exposed to that last year. I didn't die. Why would I die this year? Right. Well, that's because this one's worse. But so they're saying that because of the isolation, this is in the UK. Isolation is kind of a move away from the whole herd mentality, right? We've had this herd mentality. Mm-hmm. Let's get everybody a vaccination and it's gonna cure the world, right?
Oh, that's what they think, and it doesn't work.
That's the herd mentality. So isolation is just opposite of that.
Right.
Isolation is just opposite of that. It's different thinking. And they've said that it went from a really bad thing to not so bad because of that. They're saying in the UK, instead of having a 500,000, 500,000 deaths as a result of this coronavirus, they're saying that they're only going to have 20,000.
Yep. It's important. You have to protect yourself. And
500,000
more so, even if you're healthy and you have a great immune system, and I have two people that I know in Canada that are great friends of mine, and they own a gym, they work out, they're in shape, they're under 50, and they got it like 20 days ago. They're just now getting better.
Yeah. Yeah. And so there's things that you can do. We've heard, people talking about using fulvic acid, right? Body shield, Sisel body shield. And what does fulvic acid do? We can't make any claims about our product and anything like that. So, if you're from the FDA and you're listening to me, we're not making any medical claims. We're not trying to say cure, treat, anything like that. If you're sick, go to your doctor, right? But
not if you think you have CV-19.
But we have to make that. I have to tell people that, right? So they've done studies on fulvic acid, and this is how potent of an antiviral that they found it is. And again, we're not making any claims about our product. I'm just reporting the science, right? And the science says that they used it on polio, and they saw a positive response. They used it on herpes, and they saw a positive response. They used it on influenza, and they saw a positive response. They used it on this Coxsackie virus, and they found a positive response. And this is really, really good. What else does fulvic acid do? It lowers that inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
So it protects you from the virus because it attaches to the viral particle itself, which we've heard a lot about. But fulvic acid actually helps lower the inflammation as well. So you don't develop that ARDS.
Right.
It increases your circulation. Fulvic acid has been shown to increase circulation, and that increases the amount of antibodies that can flow around your body. And when you have better antibody flowing around your body, the antibodies can kill off the bad guys.
Right.
So fulvic acid does this. Fulvic acid also increases alkalinity of the body.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and so they show that with our poor diet and when we get sick, we have more acidic environment, and we want to lower. You know, we want to make that so that we're more alkaline, right? Fulvic acid does that.
Right.
And then we talked about gut healing. That fulvic acid is loaded. It's loaded with good, healthy bacteria.
Yep.
And it creates an environment.
Because it is a billion-year-old compost.
Billions of years old.
It could have dinosaurs in it.
You might be eating some dinosaur. Right? But, you know, basically all life is partially related back to fulvic acid, because as I look outside, look out my window, as you look out your window, as anybody out here in the audience is looking out their window and they see a tree or they see grass growing or that flower that's popping up, you know?
Yep.
How does the plant take the dirt and grab the nutrients from the soil and make a plant? How does a tree go from a little tiny seedling to a great big tree?
Fulvic acid.
Fulvic acid, right? And so when you're eating that orange and you're absorbing that vitamin C, guess what made that possible?
Fulvic acid. So it's like a transporter of nutrients.
Yeah, when you're eating that Brazil nut and you're getting the selenium, right? Fulvic acid. When you're eating the spinach and you're getting that iron, guess what made that possible? Fulvic acid. Right? Fulvic acid. Interesting. Right? And now all of a sudden, a lot of people in the world know about fulvic acid because it attaches to the virus and it keeps the virus from replicating. But now, as you and I have been sharing on this call for, I mean, when was the first talk we did on Body Shield?
Jeez, it was like, what is this? This is spring. It was almost a year ago because we talked about it all through the summer.
Oh, we talked about it. Like, I bet we did 6 calls on fulvic acid, didn't we?
Yep.
And we talked about it 2 years ago on this call and 3 years ago on this call, because fulvic acid is so important because it builds up the gut. It builds up the health of your gut. And everybody now is just finding out about it and going, oh my God, I got to have Body Shield. I had a friend of mine call last night and she said, oh, we, are we going to have enough? Are we going to have enough? Well, there was lots of trees and plants that died during the dinosaur era. And, thick, rich, black soil. Do you guys have black soil in Michigan?
It's either clay or sand, usually.
Oh.
We don't have really great soil. Depends on where you're at.
Yeah, so you can't eat the dirt. We can. We got lots of...
I wouldn't eat any dirt out there today.
But I'm telling you, the dirt, like when I see my dog eating dirt, that's because he gets that fulvic acid. So he gets Body Shield. He gets 2 capsules every day. My dog. He's been getting that, all of a sudden we see people taking this product. I've been taking it since the beginning because I thought it was, it was really, really that important. So I don't know. That's pretty much everything that I want to talk about today, Andrea. What do you think? Do you think we covered it all?
I do, except we could probably talk about how they're going to put good bacteria back into their gut if they've got a compromised gut.
That's right. So now you've gotten rid of the plugging, the bad stuff with the super detox. You've made a good terrarium with your body shield. Now you want to reintroduce the good bacteria.
Right.
How do we do that?
That's with the Balance D.
The green bottle. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It has pre and probiotics in it, a combination of several types, not just one type.
And what's a probiotic?
Pro is like it's already existing, it's already there. The pre is kind of like food for the pro, right?
Yep. So the probiotics would be the healthy bacteria. We have billions of cultures. I think Tom said we have 25 billion cultures in a dose.
Mm-hmm.
And then the prebiotics, like Andrea said, that's the food.
Right.
That's the food, because healthy bacteria live on prebiotics. Bad bacteria lives on sugar and dead things in your gut.
Yeah, I used to, years ago, I would buy a probiotic and they had some that had sugar in it. And I'd go and read the label and I'd go, I don't want sugar. That helps bacteria grow. I mean, that's why they had it in there, but it doesn't help the good stuff grow. So.
Yeah, so when you see people eating yogurt and saying, oh, I don't have to take a probiotic, I eat yogurt.
Okay.
What do you tell them? How do you explain that? That's really not what you should be doing.
Well, in the first place, it's not the right probiotic. And secondly, it doesn't have enough in it to help you. And it has enough sugar in yogurt to like destroy your immune system. So
that's right.
Why would you want it?
So it's the wrong bacteria. It's not enough bacteria, and it has sugar in it, which helps the bad bacteria grow.
Right.
Yogurt isn't the answer.
No, definitely not.
But there are foods that you can't eat. Like I've got a friend that makes her own yogurt.
Mm-hmm. Yep. My sister does that.
Yep. And hers is healthy because she doesn't add the sugar to it.
Right.
A little bit to get it going, but then once it's going, it eats off of the lactose, which is the milk sugar.
Mm-hmm.
What's another healthy probiotic that you can get from food?
I don't know. Tell me.
Sauerkraut.
Oh, yeah, because I never eat sauerkraut, so I didn't know that.
Oh, aren't you a good German?
I have a jar in my prepper cupboard, though. But no, I don't normally eat sauerkraut.
Oh, I have sauerkraut at least once a week. I like it.
I'm Irish. I don't eat German food.
Well, but Irish eat sauerkraut.
Do they?
Oh yeah,
potatoes.
Yeah, but they put sauerkraut. Look up. Irish eat a lot of sauerkraut. It's just as Irish as it is German. And then what's another food?
I don't know. I'm drawing blank.
Kombucha.
Oh, yeah.
Cultured buttermilk.
What else do you drink? What else do you intake there, Dr. Kurt?
These are all things that I eat and drink.
I know.
Right? This is all, I mean, I'm not just throwing this out there. I mean, you look in my fridge, it's in there.
But you can ferment lots of things. You can ferment cabbage, things like that.
Yeah, you can ferment a lot of different foods. You can, I mean, naturally fermented foods. It was how they stored food back in the old days.
Right.
It was how they stored food. So anyhow, Andrea, we've talked for 49 minutes and probably a few seconds even. And we've had a couple people jump on and off. I know Cindy was with us for a little bit. Thanks for joining us. And so I'll let you close out the call. Everyone stay healthy, beat this thing, and don't go back to your old habits. Keep your immune system strong even after this is all over. So Andrea, over to you.
Right. Thank you, Doc. Thank you for being on here every Tuesday at noon Eastern time on the Doctor's Clinic with Doc Fizz and Friends. And if you're just seeing this for the first time because somebody shared it with you, that is a public page on Facebook that you can go and join and like it, and then you can watch us every Tuesday. Or if you can't watch us at the designated time that we do this, all of the videos are stored in there and you can scroll back and watch them. So stay healthy, wash your hands, practice social distancing, and we're all going to get through this, and it'll be good at the end.
Wash your hands even if it's not a virus.
Exactly. Like we've all learned how to do that now.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.